Hello everybody, I'm Heidi Hornlein and I'm here with 4 guests to talk about integral consciousness and marketing. The topic came up when Lisa, who I invited to this talk, posted in a group where we are together about that she has seen Ken Wilber. It was not a seminar, it was a marketing event, but she said she has never seen such a bad way of doing marketing. And so I got to know that Lisa is also interested in Ken Wilber and the integral movement, integral IT idea. And so I thought we just should talk about it, because in my own life, I mean, marketing is really always been behind, and I now begin to think about it, that it's really needed to get our message out. And actually, I'm here with Mark, my husband, who I knew by means of integral. We met by talking about integral themes, and now he is here. And I would invite you, Mark, to present yourself.
Okay, I'm Mark. My most notable accomplishment in life is hooking up with this woman. I come out of an integral background that I've been studying for about 10 years. And like most people who are interested in integral, I was a very heady type, and coming into integral from out of a pluralistic, flatland, green, shall we say, level just before I got into integral, I was pretty turned off by marketing and all the excesses of commercialism and the achievement-oriented generation that I didn't ever do very well at. And so I really existed in integral for several years without worrying too much about such practical matters as earning money. And I think I share that bias with an awful lot of people in the integral movement. We like the academics, we like the head stuff, and it's time for a change.
Thank you. Lisa, would you like to present yourself?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me here. Really appreciate it. I think this is a great conversation. I'm Lisa Engles. I'm the founder of Interstate Coaching, and I also am here in Google Hangouts and Google Plus quite a bit, and have my own show called The Power of Practice. And what you were referring to, Heidi, was the telesummit or teleseminar that Ken Wilber did just about a week ago, promoting his new program, which I'm sure is completely awesome. I've been following Ken Wilber for probably 15 years, although I probably am not as deep into it as you two are, but I have read his books and followed him on a bigger scale. I'm sort of associated with the human potential movement and conscious evolution. That's my passion. That's where I do my work. But I also found that I have this passion and some type of skill around technology and marketing, and I've found a way to bridge those two passions of those of us who are heart-centered entrepreneurs, and here to step forward in the awakening of the planetary shift and get that message out there, and use the technology like Google Hangouts and Google Plus as our training wheels to reach a wider audience at an exponentially faster pace and feeling congruent and aligned with our own values. So we'll get more into that, I'm sure, but that's just a little snapshot of me.
Thank you. So, Kate, would you like?
Yes, I would like to say that this is an amazing event for me, because I met Heidi just 3 weeks ago, and it was on a forum about voice coaching, and we clicked so quickly and so amazingly that we started to communicate not only about singing but also about Integral. And though I haven't had time to study this subject, I discovered that it's absolutely a natural way for me to think, because we have a company which I'm part of, which is called Growth Inside Out. And it's all about the internal and external and how it is connected. So today I also invited my husband, Bill, because he is a person who has been doing marketing all his life. And I just think that he's going to be able to share with you what he knows, and also listen to the concepts of Integral, which are new to him as a movement and philosophy, but it's absolutely not new to him as a way of thinking, because again, it's how things integrate from within. So we are very happy to be here, and it's a great event for us, and we are also for the first time being broadcasted on Hangouts, so it's also a learning experience for us. So thank you for being here.
Good, thank you. And Bill, would you like to present yourself? You are obviously the only one of us who has not a problem with marketing.
Right. Yes. I would describe myself as an entrepreneur and marketer, but from a different angle. That one of the things that annoys me a lot is how a lot of people in internet marketing really abuse marketing because they use it as a way of manipulating people. And that's the image that we got of snake oil salesman a long time ago. And it's that aspect of manipulation and coercing people into it that puts me off a lot of the methods that these people use. So when I look at what we do, which is integrate personal growth with business growth, we try to look at marketing as we would treat people the way we would want to be treated. And that's where we stand with our businesses. And I think it's that aspect of marketing that how we define marketing can really resonate with us inside. Because a lot of people who don't understand a lot about marketing and who shy away from it are put off entirely, and they need to know the message from inside that resonates with other people, and that's part of marketing. So you don't need to be scared by marketing if you think of it in a way that we'll discuss later.
Okay, thank you. So, Lisa, could you describe a little bit how the non-marketing or the bad marketing was perceived by you? And the question is there only not marketing or this abusive marketing of which Bill is speaking?
That's a great question, and I think I totally relate to what you're saying, Bill, because as I was coming from that world of personal development and coaching and coming into, okay, how can I harness the power of something so good as online marketing? Really, there was no one here to show me the way of how to do it in an ethical way that was congruent with who I am. And I think you speak to something that like Heidi and Mark are talking about, like, I don't want to even go into that space because it's yucky. Like, you have this yucky feeling around it. What I noticed for myself, and I'm going to relate this to the Ken Wilber thing, what I noticed for myself is that I've always had a hard time with internet marketing, even though I'm really good at understanding it, because there was something, and specifically social media, like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, because there was something about it that was not congruent with who I am fundamentally, which is I'm a communicator and I'm a connector, and I crave authentic real engagement and connection and discussion for the greater good. And I never felt like I could get that in Facebook and Twitter. How can you? There's a barrier to contact there. And so I came over to Google Plus and Hangouts and found something completely different for myself. And so what I see now is people like, so now we get to the Ken Wilber thing, and what I observed is they understand, people like Ken Wilber and these amazing visionary leaders understand the need to hop into this space of marketing themselves, because we are at a critical time on our planet, and the consciousness and the shift is happening, and those visionary leaders need to be our leaders, and they can do that by harnessing these marketing principles, but they're not being guided in the right way. So what happens is, what I experienced with the teleseminar is, you hear someone like Ken Wilber giving all his great information, but he's not, I think that there's not a congruence in him between, or at least an understanding of how to be in alignment with what it is that your internal values and what it is that you're teaching, and get that message to an audience in a way that they can grasp readily and easily and say, yes, I'm on board, I want to be a part of this, without feeling, because I think, just go back really quickly again, I think, just to the point, most of us who are visionary leaders, thought leaders, personal growth, human potential, really resist the marketing piece, and yet it's a necessary piece if we're going to create the change in this world and the shift that we're in right now. So hopefully that sort of at least starts the discussion, or semi-answers your question.
Yeah, I think you have. Yeah. And I would like to share a little bit about my approach to marketing. I always, you know, when I was a singing teacher and voice therapist and so on, I never really wanted to do any marketing, and it was in person, because online marketing here in Europe is not so much known as it is in America. And I had my students in person. But, you know, I now come to the moment of my life where I think I have to harvest. I want to harvest what I know, and I want to give it out, because during the last 10 years at least, I always thought, you know, I have to die with what I have discovered. I don't know how to get it out. And this, finally, doing some courses, the leaders there have convinced me that without marketing, I cannot get my message out. And so I sort of, okay, I will learn it. But I'm not really happy yet, because I have the same thing as Bill said, you know, I don't like the invitation letters which are 2 kilometers long and want to really insist, and again and again and again. I want to find a way which is not overwhelming people, and I alone, I have no idea how to do that. So,
yeah. And there are some cultural differences here too. Lisa, you're in America. I've come from America, and I'm rather used to a certain kind of hype and a certain kind of skepticism about advertising messages, and I just take it often as background noise and try to weave my way through it to reach, you know, what I want to find out or what I want to buy, and just accept that there's a lot of just verbiage, you know, that wants me to do what they want me to do. And here in Europe, we have a slightly different approach, and I think other people could speak to that.
Yeah, I would say that, because when I send out my newsletters to my, let's say, my tribe, and there are about maybe 20, 25 or 30 Germans, and I get the message, your advertisement, this is American. And I say, you know, I do only a third of what they do there and what they propose, what I should do. And still they sort of cancel me, and they don't even, just talked with a man yesterday, a friend of mine. He says he never opens it because he doesn't know what to do with this sort of newsletter. So, what is your idea about that?
Well, you're right when it comes to the cultural aspect. I'm used to the way the Americans do things, people USA, North America, because I get a lot of my training from these people. I've got a lot of connections with people in that part of the world. But I'm British and rather skeptical of a lot of hype. In Britain, we don't like hype. Probably even it's less than that in Germany, for example, that they hate the hype. And there's that aspect that you've got to take it. When you see a lot of US people in internet marketing especially coming in right into your face with things, and really it's all hype, you begin not to believe what they're saying. Because as Lisa says, they're not authentic. What they're saying is not who they really are, because they're only playing a game to get money out of you. It's called the shiny objects. Here's a shiny object. I don't know if you need it, but I'm going to push it and you're going to buy it because I'm going to make you an incredible offer, and I'll give you 30 days money back guarantee, and make it hard for you when you try to get your money back. There's a lot of that, and it's a bad reputation, but I'd like to come back to this aspect of it. Marketing. What is marketing? There's a lot of different definitions of marketing, but Peter Drucker, an academic, said a long time ago that the purpose of marketing is to make selling obsolete. Think of that for a moment. Yeah, people don't mind marketing. They hate selling. So personal development coaches, etc., they have a hard time to sell themselves. They don't like doing it. They think it's dirty. And I would like to put your minds at rest this evening by telling you something. If you go back to look at the meaning, the original meaning of selling, what does it mean to sell? Go back to Athens, go back to the days of people in streets in Athens, etc., when people are crying, buyer beware. You know, if something was wrong, they shouted in the marketplace to warn people, because there were a lot of dirty salesmen around. And selling got a bad name because of that. And the original name has been forgotten. It means to serve. So, as coaches, as trainers, if we just think, what can I do to serve? That's what selling and marketing is about. Marketing is a means to sell. It's necessary, but marketing is a softer sell. And marketing, one aspect of marketing is that it's all about how you communicate with a potential customer by stepping into their shoes, by empathizing with them and answering their questions.
It's good.
This is really good. So you are pointing to being able to change the perspective, going out of your own perspective and only pursuing your own sort of greedy goals, and being able to step into the perspective of the possible customers and see what they want from you.
Can I just say a little thing? I believe that people who are very, very much into the inner growth and working on their own personal development, going deep and deep, you know, to that level that you described yesterday, to the red zone, they have less time and less energy to try to craft the message in a way that people hear, and sometimes they have a lot of self-doubt. When I meet my clients face to face, and when we do the work, I'm completely relaxed and I'm passionate about it, and people tell other people about my work, and the word of mouth is working perfectly. But when it comes to marketing online, I have been expert at home, and still it's a hard work for me because I have a little thing here. I have to prove myself. to this big world online. And I think that is an inhibitor. It's an obstacle that I discovered in myself and in a lot of people who are very much into the spiritual way of, being and existence. They don't doubt themselves. I don't doubt myself. But when it comes to put the message out to this big, hard marketing world, I start to have doubts about how to do that. So I think that this could be one of these inner reasons why people who are big thinkers and great coaches, they have this obstacle to do it.
And
oh, excuse me.
I was just going to say that's this is where the shift is happening that I'm seeing with Google Hangouts and Google Plus, because we're moving from, to me, it's an evolution in the way that we market, because we're moving from what we've known for years and years as social media to something that's now called the human media movement. And the human media movement breaks all barriers between us and everybody else. In other words, we can do what we're doing right now, which is have heart-to-heart, eye-to-eye, mind-to-mind contact in real time, anywhere, anytime. It doesn't matter. We could be mobile. We could be sitting at our desk, wherever. And what this does is it allows us to reconnect again with people, whether they're our colleagues and friends or people that we don't even know, and have these types of discussions and dialogues. And that's where the marketing comes in. Just in having a discussion like this, I'm saying, like, wow, Bill and Kate, they have some great stuff going on just in this discussion. Like, I want to connect with them outside of this. And, you know, so in this, that's marketing in and of itself. We've broken all barriers, if not at least reduced them, maybe not broke all barriers, but most marketing is asynchronous. I don't know if that's the right word, but basically you put something out there, then you wait for a response. It's not real-time engagement. And I believe that this is the evolution of us marketing as heart-centered entrepreneurs, visionaries, social entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. So that's just my take on it, where I think that we're going.
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I completely agree. And what you said, Kate, before, I think there is the underlying belief that we need to compete with the others. We need to be better than the others. And then there are so many people out there who are better than us, at least we might be, and better don't begin, you know, something like that. And when we come into the other mindset, and this is also a good integral exercise, no, to shift mindsets. But Lisa says, you know, that we don't compete, and we do Google Hangouts. Now we are in 5. There can be 10 pictures down here. We can do these conversations with people who are our colleagues, you know. They are not necessarily our competitors. But
no, we're collaborators. We're not competitors. And we're moving, this is the evolution, I believe, of sales and marketing, is it's not the fittest, the survival of the fittest and the best wins. It's those who collaborate and cooperate with each other that, to me, that's the evolution of marketing in our space of conscious entrepreneurs.
So we're all winners.
We are all winners, yes.
Absolutely. And it's like Bill said, this is about serving the highest good of everybody. This isn't about is integral, right? It's not about the me, it's about the we.
Right.
That's where we're moving.
And coming back to what you say about Ken Wilber, that he was not really very great in marketing, I think, I know him quite well, and we are listening to many talks. He is really, let's say, a head type. Also, he has a big heart, and he is really integral in the very, very good meaning of the term. But he is inside his theory, and he is talking integral. And how can you reach people who don't know this wording?
It's what we in American marketing would call jargon. He's inside of his system and his theory, which is great for everybody else who is inside of his system and theory. But if you don't know what memes are, and you don't know what the levels of aqua, orange, green, all those levels are, it's like, well, what is he talking about? What's a meme? What does that mean? So again, that's where these discussions are great, to bring people together. Someone like bringing Ken Wilber in and just having the discussion. What is a meme? Just in that is marketing and sharing, and it becomes teaching points instead of jargon, and you draw people in through the discussion.
This is exactly what we have understood lately, and that's why Mark and we want to create, and we are already beginning, these Google Hangout talks and bring integral, not only integral, I mean, we are integrating many things, you know, like singing, like relationship, like voice work all together, and coaching, whatever it is, and bring it inside of the integral framework to people, and in a way that they can understand. At least this is one of our goals. We are sort of translators of the theories. I'm in the theory since, I think, 97, and I have read almost all books, not all up to the end, because sometimes it's really too difficult. But I sort of understood.
I've always been heavily into theory as a university professor in my subject, but I was always doing the practical thing at the same time. And one of the things that you're saying there about the theory, what is it people are, what are people buying from you? They don't want a theory.
No.
They don't want the philosophy. They can get that in the books. They don't want academic stuff. I call it, what they're looking for, a practical philosophy. They want to say, how can I take what you say and put it into effect 2 minutes from now? When I leave this, how can I go and do something about it tomorrow? What can I learn? And they want to be doing it and putting it into action. They don't want to be told, go and read another 5 books and here's this and that. They want it right now. Remember, what we're faced with in the Western world today is attention deficit disorder to a big extent. With all this technology we have, people, you've got 7 seconds to get across to people. And what are people asking? When you say, hey, would you like to buy this? No, they're saying, what is this? Is this for me? What do I get from this?
Right.
And if they don't get that within 7 seconds of zoomed off somewhere else, look, if you look at Twitter, you only get a very limited number of characters to send a message to people. It's unbelievable. So what do you say in that time? Well, it's like when you're marketing, you've got to forget about what you have and be in love with yourself. As someone said about a friend of mine, that if he were chocolate, he would eat himself. Because he's so in love with himself. If he were a bar of chocolate, he would eat himself. And it was not anything about anyone else. It was always about him, me, and he switched everyone off, and he wasn't a good marketer. Because the good marketer, the good seller, gets into the head and understanding, empathizes with the person who's listening. And that's why, in Lisa's saying, face-to-face stuff, why would people do business with Lisa, for example, or Ken or whoever? They'll do it because they like them. But hey, it's not a Facebook like.
Right, totally.
No. I mean, I'm glad Facebook haven't said love there, because what is it about like? A like's a connection. I mean, I have over 2,000 people on Facebook. Never met them. Hardly ever speak to any of them. They're usually trying to sell me something that I don't want. Anyway, the whole thing about technology, it's gone way beyond us, and the humanity is taking so long to catch up. But it's happening now. As you say, the tectonic plates are moving. People are seeing through all the marketing hype. There's a guy who wrote a book, a marketer, Seth Godin is his name, Godin. He's a great writer. He wrote a book called All Marketers Are Liars. I had to take that book off the shelf. Of course, it wasn't what I imagined, because then he was trying to justify marketing because he was a marketer. You know, I thought, oh, we're going to get some truth at last from these people.
No, just really great lies.
Yeah, and it's exactly why I was so abstinent of marketing, because I don't want to lie. But what I did wrong, and what I understand now, I sort of gave all the hesitations, maybe yes, maybe not, you know. I took out, as a good German, the things I cannot do instead of saying what I really can do and be confident with it, you know.
But
Yeah, and
what do you think when you think of serving? You as a personal coach and a personal development person of people, we're all of us. If we think of serving, that takes marketing and selling out of the equation. It gives us a different perspective on who we are and what we're trying to do and what the client is getting for us. And the other thing I want to mention is this, that a lot of marketing and selling is about transactions. You do give me that, I'll give you that. I'll give you this shiny object and you give me money. I'll give you an hour of my time and you give me some money. If we think of it in another way, how can we think of that rather than transaction? Relationship, which is what Lisa was hinting at there. Relationship marketing is all about a client. What's the difference between a customer and a client? Client is about relationship.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Customer is about a transaction often. It can lead to a relationship. So we don't talk about customers in our business. For example, in what we're all doing in personal coaching, we talk about clientele, clients, because we're building relationships. And that's easy for you to market because you're marketing yourself and you're different from others. So you don't need to worry about competition.
Right, and I think that you bring, I think that that's a wonderful distinction, that the reason why so many coaches and personal development professionals and whatnot feel stuck and hesitant around marketing themselves is because it is not aligned with their internal values. There is a perception, like you're saying, Bill, that marketing and selling is this one thing that we've all come to sort of know, like push my agenda on you. And however, all it really takes for us to do, as you're saying, is to shift our perspective, to reframe it as this is about creating relationships. And when we think, if we reframe our definition of marketing and selling as creating relationships, well then now I'm congruent with my internal values and it feels really good and it feels natural and it energizes me and it excites me every day to do my marketing.
Yeah, this is wonderful, and I'm stepping into your shoes. Lisa, I don't know if you know that I am doing this because of you.
Oh,
I
didn't know that.
in the beginning in one of your hangouts, and then I was following you, and then when you did the talk with Ronnie Binzer about the Hangout Mastery, I was so inspired that I joined that group, and I'm really committed to learn it. Actually, I wanted to do it before. There were courses out about Hangouts, but they were about $3,000 or something. I said, oh,
It's because now here's the other thing that I am really, there are all these internet marketers who are starting to go, ooh, Google Hangouts, it's the next like shiny object, like Bill is saying, that I can get out there and monetize on, and you know what, like, come on, those people that are doing that and charging those exorbitant fees, they're not even using Google Plus or Google Hangouts. And some, you know, I feel bad because some people will buy their things, and it's like they're learning from the wrong people, because in this day and age, again, it's about congruency, being congruent, and that's what I love about, I know I keep touting Google Plus and Google Hangouts, but I guess I just felt so passionate about it, and Heidi, that's probably what you saw in me interviewing Ronnie Bincer and getting out there with this, because I truly believe that we need to do more work in the world with who we are. It's time for us to use this platform and this technology for the greater good of the whole, and we can do it in this very congruent way, again, that Kate and Bill are talking about. It's just, we have a new platform now. Not many people know about it, but I'm convinced that we can use this technology for the greater good, as opposed to the sly, slick oil. Oil. What do they call it? The snake oil salesman. Yeah.
Can I point something else out here? It's about the jargon of marketing that's been used.
Absolutely.
When we think of emails and all the rest of it, we think of how we do business online. We talk about traffic. We don't talk about customers or clients. Traffic is a horrible word. We talk about monetization. Well, it's a wonderful American word. You see, the thing with my American friends, I tease my American marketers for one thing. I says, why do you always take a verb and turn it into a noun? To monetize is bad enough, but monetization really turns me off a lot. So we talk about the jargon. What's your click-through rate? What's your click-through rate when you send out a message? I mean, what's the language? It's all technical language. I'm an engineer by background, so I know I like technical language, but not when it comes to personal coaching and developing. We've got to get away from that. No, we talk about things. No, the market went up today, as if the market were a human being. No, the market did. The stock market didn't go up today. Certain people manipulated, drove it up or down. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've taken these words and we've turned them into, we speak in robotic terms, and we're not robots, but technology makes us operate like robots. And so we've got to get back to the human side of these words, and that's why I love the idea of serving. What do we do to serve our clients? We must communicate with them. So a big part of marketing is, how do we get our message across? And we don't need to worry about it, because we only have to think of, what do I want to pass on to someone? If I only have an hour to tell my story and leave the world a better place, what's the message? In a nutshell, without all the jargon round about it. And what can they do with it to change their lives? If we think about how can we help people change their lives, then that will get us back to the marketing message every time.
And back to Ken Wilber, and about this, what this whole hangout is about, how to market Integral better, is, I believe, and I have even a strong feeling about what Bill said before, make it so practical. Leave out the jargon. Go there with your heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's as easy as that. I absolutely agree. I think that you're right on with that in every way. And you go back to, like you're saying, Bill, it's just all about communicating and connecting. And for me, my personal experiences, those are two aspects of me that are like, I highly value them. And when I'm not doing those things, I feel at a loss, I feel overwhelmed, confused. All of those things as a entrepreneur and doing my work by myself, because I'm not being congruent. So it's really not that hard. I think that most of us who are in this realm of personal development, human potential, conscious evolution, are connectors and communicators. We want relationship. That's why we thrive in what it is that we do.
Yeah, and I really think we need to find the right words, as you said, as Bill said, you know, at K2. We need to find the right way to bring our message out. Come down from the heights of theory and everything and do that. It is not so easy when we are not used to it, but we're trying this. And Lisa, really, this is such a good platform. And I think that it makes sense now that we will be able to attract the customers who like us, you know, and have become a trust in us because they can see us. It is not an email with words, but they can see how we are. And if they don't like me, they won't buy from me. No?
Yeah.
Won't come to our courses or to our retreats. Nobody will come. But if they like me, that can be, oh, let's go. Maybe she has something to say. And this is not only for me, it's for all of us, sure. So
absolutely.
I think we are about to wrap up this conversation. I'm really grateful that you were here, all of you. And I think this is a topic which is touching our hearts too, because we need to allow our heart to go out into the world and do it with methods which are, as you said, congruent with who we are, and not try to do, because in my experience, whenever I try to do something which I have learned, you know, and it was not mine, it always failed. So we need really to be ourselves and go out into the world, not world, as ourselves.
And also, just a last little point. It just came to me a few seconds ago that we have to take the technological tools and use them as tools for what we want, and forget about all the big overhyped world of technology with all the jargons which are dehumanized. You know, the terminology is dehumanized, and it created a certain culture around technology, which makes it harder for people like us and for other people who are searching for development, evolution, to overcome this. So this is very important that we own the tools and we forget about the obstacles with the technology and use it for us, because we are the creators. Not the tools are not creating our world. We are the creators.
Very, very well said.
Yes, like that.
Do you want to say a last word?
Well, you know, I've been sitting here a bit quietly and taking in what changing this perspective, you know, really from what me, I, to what the client needs and wants, you know. And it's a difficult switch to make. I know I've got a heart. I know I've got a big heart, but I have a lot of old habits, and I have my own doubts and fears. You know, in some ways I feel like, if I'm really genuine, people will find out I'm a fraud. And so it's very ambivalent sometimes. I think, Lisa, you spoke to some of that as well.
Yeah. There's an easy way to get rid of it. Just drop your ego.
Yeah.
Okay, done. No problem.
And as soon as you step out of ego and only think about the other person, it's easy to market.
Yeah.
And it's easy to relate, and when you resonate with the other person, they will come to you before they go to anyone else, so there's no competition. And also, we've not touched on one issue, it's about price. When you do that, You can also charge premium prices. You don't need to be saying, "Oh, I'll do this for nothing. Oh, I'll do this." Okay, because that's another problem with personal coaches. They end up making no money and being very depressed because they're not valuing their services enough. And sometimes people they will pay premium prices when you think they won't. Because there's another thing about marketing, that going to the premium price is something about value. It shows people that you believe what you have to give is something that they want and need, and they will value. And if you don't value your services and who you are and what you have to offer, why should anyone else value them? So there's that other aspect of get your prices higher, but deliver value and give more than they expect. Really surprise them. And these people will come back and back to you, and they will bring other people. And that's a proper way that Lisa was talking about before. That's what marketing is about. It's not about any of this hard sell and twist the arm up the back, and you must take this. Would you like a red one or a green one? Do you want two now? And saying, you know, oh, you've just bought that. I'm going to sell other 3 things to you while you're on there. It's horrible when you go and buy something nowadays in internet marketing and they hit you with this offer and you say, no, thank you. Just give me what I bought. And then they say, here's another one, little less price, and there's another one. You can't get to your product until you've waited to be another hard sell for 3 times. It's really horrible. That's not how you should treat people. I hate that way of doing business. You give people what they have, you let them mull it over, you go back to them and you say, did you like this? Would you like to discuss it? And if you don't like it, I don't want your money. Just tell me, I'll give you the money back. And we're scared to do that. But we shouldn't be, because it gives them more credibility. And people will be so amazed that we're saying, what? Yeah, if you're not delighted with my services and what I give you, I don't want your money. Why are we afraid to do that? Well, we may not eat next week, but at least it teaches about marketing and giving more. And if you give the other one last point, I know we're running, is to shift the free line. Give away more of your stuff for free, and you'll get more customers in the end from that. That's a topic for another day.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was such a rich topic. And to come back to Integral and the personal development, we really have to learn to make the shift in our own personal development. First of all, to value our services and value them in the right way, and then not be afraid to give them away also for free, as you said now, you know. But don't do everything for free. So to find the right measurement between that, and yeah, we have to learn. We are learning.
Absolutely. We are.
Okay, shall we do an ending round? Everybody says just one word about today, how you are or how you found it or whatever. Just one word which can characterize your state of being just now.
Centered.
Integrated.
Fascinated.
Evolved.
Oh, evolved. I didn't hear Kate.
Fascinated.
Fascinating. And I'm inspired. So thank you very much, everybody. And I hope we can continue with these talks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.